Today, we're going to be taking a look at the top 30 vintage non-sport sales for the month of May. The cards are ranging anywhere from about $900 through $7,500 and covers iconic sets like the Three Stooges as well as 1985 Garbage Pail Kids. But there are some pre-war cards littered in, such as an 1888 and 76 Great American. With that being said, let's jump into the list. Up first this week, we have a 1940 Superman versus Torpedo. The second most popular card in the set. This is the last one in the set with card number 72, a 1.5. This sold for $918. But don't worry, we will see card number one shortly. $936, 1998 Marvel Universe Galacticus. I think that's how I pronounce it. And probably will get roasted by someone that collects comic books. But regardless, I have no idea who this even is. Famous set though. I'm familiar with that set, and $936 for this. Check out my cards auction. $950 for Creepy Carol, 1985 at Garbage Pail Kids. There was a ton of PSA 9s and 10s that sold this month, so they are all throughout this list. I think probably about a quarter to a third of the cards for this month is on here, and that is a creepy card. I don't disagree with that one bit. $999 Luke Skywalker in a PSA 8. And a little bit of a blurry picture, so I can't zoom in super close. It looks nice from far away. Unfortunately, the seller listed no back. $1,000 Captain America versus Red Skull. It says this is a Battle Spectra and a PSA 10. I think we've had, maybe not this exact card, but another one from this Marvel Masterpieces set on this list before. And someone was telling me, I think that these were tough to grade, and that's why some of these go for a pretty good premium. And you can see that this is a population of 12. $1,009 for Curly, the first and the 1959 Three Stooges. Again, a very popular set out here. Few made the list because, again, there's a set that was broken up, which is kind of a theme on these lists. Anytime there's a high grade set of like a Mars Attack or Three Stooges or anything like that, a very popular non-sport set, you're going to see these throughout the list. There's a lot of registry collectors and set collectors within the space. It's good to see. But there we go for a 7.5 on that checklist. And I've talked about it a few videos on the sports side of things, but checklists are always tough to find in high grade because a lot of these have check marks on them, and each grading company has their own determination on if you have ink or whatever else on the card on the back. Like SGC, they max you at I think 1.5, or PSA you can get the MK qualifier. 1053 on You Won't Fool Three Stooges in a PSA 7. And surprise, surprise, another checklist. Next on the list, Melton Melissa. This one sold for $1,200. Top loaded tradables. I wonder if that is who had the other Garbage Pail Kid. And we'll see, because there's, like I said, there's quite a few on here. All right, $1,200 Marvel Universe Diamond Preview. And I actually learned about this set from people who watch these videos. So you can see that diamond right over here on the back, and it says produced and distributed by Impel Marketing. So these were before that 1990 Marvel Universe set, and they're much rarer to find. That's why you see these go for a bit of a premium for the diamond preview copies. So thank you guys for giving me that information. Again, with stuff, if I mess up or I don't know about it, please let me know, because that makes these videos better. 1938 Horrors of War 283. I can't show the front of this card on the video. Look it up yourself, or you can just look at the top left on the side. 1230 Three Stooges You Can't Keep checklist number 16 in a 7.5. 1240 Three Stooges Mo 8.5 card number 2. Mark Hamill, a signed autograph card over here, $1,300. Man, it's not graded in, but the card looks pretty nice. So, I mean, I know there's a little chipping over here, so I'm kind of surprised this wasn't authenticated. Now, the autograph is streaky, so you're not getting a 10 on that auto. I think you get an 8 on that auto. I don't like these stickers, though. I don't know. Like for me as a collector, it's a pet peeve seeing these stickers on a card. And this is Pix autograph. I don't know what Pix autographs are. I mean, maybe it's a comic or something like that. And it says Hamill added Luke on February 26, 2024. And they have a date and location as well. OPX authentication. Yeah, if you guys are familiar with OPX, let me know. Personally, I only buy PSA and JSA, or in some cases, and I don't even buy a lot of autographs, but there's an authenticator that specializes in something. Because there's like some that focus on specific like astronauts or specific rock groups or people. And like I said, I don't know picks. So if you do, let me know. It's probably something with like Star Wars or comics that I am not familiar. $1,500 for Sicky Vicky. Their PSA 10 from that classic Garbage Pail Kid set. 1632 for the Doors PSA 10. I actually know who purchased this card, and I'm gonna try to get his PSA 9 at some point. But big congrats picking this one up, because this is a true grail. I saw 2 of these 10s that were listed on eBay within the last few months, and this by the same seller. I believe the story goes he actually had a bunch of unopened packs and just opened the packs and lucked into Doors. He also had a PSA 9 Jimi Hendrix, which I also missed. So pretty awesome getting some of these out there. It shows you that there are still probably unopened packs, and pop reports can change, because for the longest time there was only one Doors PSA 10 out there. But this right here is, as of now, considered their first card. I always have that caveat with music, because music, while it's explored, there's still a lot of sets out there that I personally believe haven't really been documented yet. So we know this is 1968. Doors only have like 4 or 5 cards. Obviously, they had a very short career, and yeah, never got a chance to see the Doors for obvious reasons. But I was able to see Robbie Krieger at the National when it was in Chicago. I want to say that was last year. Yeah, it was last year. So he played in it was such a cool venue. It literally looked like it came straight out of the 70s, and went with a few card buddies, and it was really fun to see that. I mean, you don't expect to see all the Doors hits, and man, they still sounded really good. And obviously not the Doors at that point, just Robbie, but it was an awesome concert. It's sadly no good concerts in Cleveland this year during the National, which is a pity, because you have the Rock Hall of Fame there. There's a lot of good bands from Cleveland. Too bad Nine Inch Nails doesn't do a show out there. We have a Mark Hamill 1983 Return of the Jedi. This sold for $18.74 and 99 cents. BGS, kind of a rough card. $1,900 for a Sylvester Stallone Rocky autograph. And the old trading card grade, but you should be able to get that flipped over. $2,000 for N76 Thomas Edison. Man, I regret not getting my Edison earlier. These have been on a rise. I have a 2, but my 2 isn't the best looking. This 4 looks awesome though, I will say that. And I do have a few 4s out there between PSA and SGC. $2,000 for 1989 Rotten to the Core Donald Trump. Again, like I've talked about this in a few videos, I feel like this card is quite pumped right now because of the election. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the election, if this card goes up or down, regardless if Trump gets reelected or does not get reelected. And I'm not going to talk too much about the political climate because this video is about cards, but I think this card right now is pretty high for what it is. $2,000 for Ash Can Andy. That looks like R2D2, so I wonder if that was the inspiration behind it. It has to be, right? Because you have space and that right over here. That's my thoughts. 2835 Blasted Billy, the first Garbage Pail Kid that I think of when you mentioned the brand Garbage Pail Kids. Well, I guess it's Atom Bomb. what they have, like two different ones of these, like Blessed Billy, Atom Bomb. I guess we'll see in a second. $3,000 for Evil Eddie, card 1B, PSA 10. Another $3,000.10. This is Nasty Nick, card 1A versus 1B. These actually look very similar. $32.96. Mars Attacks, The Invasion Begins, card number 1, the second most popular card within that set. $37.50. I told you in the beginning of the video, anytime we see a 1940 Superman, it'll be on the list. Twos still go around anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 based off the eye appeal. Kind of rough corners on this one, but it's centered pretty nicely, and I will give it to them for that one. $37.97. Rolling Stones near mint autographs. Wonder why they put text on here. I've showed this card before in the video. I wonder if this is the same exact card. I still love this card though. I want to get this eventually. This card is sold twice on here. Like, I want to say someone showed a 1962 Rolling Stones card. I can't remember. This one says 64. Or maybe it was a Beatles card that's 62. Either way, I need to find this promo card. Not an autograph version. I can't afford the $4,000 right now for that. I'd have to sell a lot of stuff, but I think this is awesome. $38.51 Curly number 1. No surprise here when you're having that set break. This card just so freaking popular, and this card is just so popular. People always will pay up for those. $5,600 for Princess Leia, and this was a PSA 10. I think the person who consigned this card or sold this card was in some of the non-sports groups on Facebook, which gives me something. I think the person who consigned or sold this card was on some of the Facebook groups for non-sports, which is a good pivot because I actually just launched a vintage non-sports group with a few people over on Twitter that are some diehard collectors. So you guys can join this. I'm going to put the link down below, and we have a bunch of posts over here. Chris Adkins just posted some stuff on here, deal or no deal wise. Then we have Edward that is selling some cards. So feel free to buy, sell, trade, post cards in your own collection. And we're even going over some post cards. So I show you a card I recently picked up over here too, which is a pretty interesting one. And yeah, make sure you guys join because we're going to try to build out a pretty awesome non-sports community. Vintage non-sports is pretty niche, but there's a lot of collectors out there that really enjoy it and are passionate about it. So if you have a Facebook account, make sure to join this. And if you don't have Facebook, you have a Twitter, feel free to hit me up as well because we have a Twitter group that is associated with this. Last card is the Atom Bomb. Again, the card I mentioned a little bit earlier that I recognize first. This one sold for $72.99. Card 8A Gem Mint 10. Let's take a look at some honorable mentions because there's some pretty cool stuff that sold. First off, I don't know if this is a one-off sale or these have actually been going down, but a 7 on the Disney sold for $891. That's not good for me because I just sent over, like 7 or 8 of these cards to get graded by SGC, and 258 bids. That one. The great card, though, to cash out if you have ComC credit. But yeah, I feel like these have gone down. $800 for this Praying Abraham Lincoln. I actually don't have this card yet. Surprisingly, these you can still find cheap. This was a pretty high sale on here. And yeah, really, really good one. There's quite a few people in the set too. There's Sherman, there's Grant. I have a Grant, I want to say in a 3 or a 4, but I do not have Lincoln. I have Sherman, and there's also the wives of some of these presidents and generals too in that set. But stuff you'll find. $5,500. This is awesome. 1977 Wonder Bread Star Wars complete signed set. Broadway Joe Authentics. This is the first ever Star Wars set produced, distributed before Topps. I had no idea. Wow. I don't know the order on this type of stuff, but it's pretty awesome to get all those autographs. 12 packs for these Beatles. This sold for $4,000. Pocket full of miracles. clear photos like that. I wonder if you buy this, you're gonna try to grade them, or like grade the packs, or open them up to get the cards on high grade. I don't know. Also interesting how this one has a card on the back there. Most others don't. 13.99 Mars Attack in Spanish. Card number 1 there. And you probably have the other card too. I've seen it before. I think this was probably a pretty good deal because if you think about like the Venezuela Tops cards, they go for quite a bit. And I feel like it'll eventually trickle to non-sports, but there's so much non-sports issued out there. But an iconic set like this, I think this is a great buy. And lastly, $2,800 for a 1957 Target Moon PSC 7 overall. Sputnik is such a cool card. I need to grab one of these in high grade eventually. And that is the list for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you are brand new. And if you want to check out some other months for the top 30 sales, make sure to check those out as well. And I'm always open to new ideas on how to improve these videos. So let me know down below and I'll work on making them better. All right, I'll catch you in another video.